Hello there, I'm Azaria Tagaya and you're watching Nightline, the top stories. No instruction given to AGC in Zahid's Akal Budi DNAA, says PM. And record-breaking rainfall wreaks havoc across Hong Kong. Good morning. Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim has stressed that he has never given any instruction to the Attorney General Tan Sri Idrus Harun concerning the High Court's decision to grant Datuk Seri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi a discharge not amounting to an acquittal or a DNAA in his Yayasan Akal Budi case. Anwar said as the Prime Minister, he was aware of the implications of the decision made by the Attorney General's Chambers AGC on the political and national stability, but accepted Idrus's explanation when he said he did not want to shirk responsibility in managing the case to his successor.
Tapi saya bercakap di sini untuk menjelaskan bahawa tidak ada arahan Peguam Negara pada masa itu Tan Sri Idrus, dia terlibat dalam meneruskan pendakwaan. Dia baca dokumen bocor yang ditulis oleh Jabatan Peguam Negara yang menyatakan tidak bersetuju dengan pendakwaan. Dia juga lihat beberapa fakta baru 200 halaman yang dikemukakan.
Anwar stressed that if such allegations that he had supposedly interfered had any basis, then the decision on the case would have been delayed to a later court date after the by-elections were done.
Tentunya saya sebagai Perdana Menteri tahu kesan dan tuduhan yang dilemparkan. Saya terpaksa tanya panjang kepada Peguam Negara, mengapa keputusan begitu, mengapa sekarang.
The fact is that the AGC did not agree on postponing its application to the court as the trial date was on September 4th, with the following day being Idrus's last day in office.
Jadi bila menjalankan tanggungjawab dia tak mau lepaskan tanggungjawab yang dia uruskan kepada yang lain. Jadi saya tidak boleh menghalang.
Meanwhile, Anwar has described it as unfair for Muda to issue a threat against the unity government over the decision on Zahid's case.
Maknanya kalau ugut, maknanya saya tak setuju tarik balik. Itu bukan bidang saya. Ada dibagi tahu kalau kamu tarik balik pendakwaan kepada Zahid, kami tak sokong kamu. Kalau kamu, jadi maknanya saya mesti dakwa dan mesti hukum. Saya nak jawab. Yang dakwa itu, yang siasat itu kerja SPRM dan polis. Yang dakwa itu kerja Peguam Negara. Yang putuskan itu hakim.
On Tuesday, Muda President Syed Saddiq Syed Abdul Rahman had threatened to withdraw the party's support from the unity government if the AGC did not explain in detail their stance to dismiss Zahid's 47 charges in the Yayasan Akal Budi case. Anwar was also asked to comment on the call by Angkatan Muda Keadilan AMK through its Vice Chief Atira Hanim Razali for an urgent parliament sitting to be held to discuss Zahid's DNAA.
Tak apa pandangan anak muda, kita kena santuni lah. Mana pun kes mahkamah ni nak pergi runding di parlimen, dia kena faham apa yang disebut pembahagian kuasa. Kalau parlimen bukan mahkamah, dia boleh tanya soalan dan kita akan cuba jawab. Kerana Peguam Negara bukan ahli parlimen dan bukan menteri. Jadi kita harus ada ruang untuk mana ahli parlimen bertanya. Tetapi jangan jadikan parlimen itu sidang mahkamah.
In the meantime, the Attorney General's Chambers has explained that it did not withdraw the case against Datuk Seri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi. According to the AGC, former Attorney General Tan Sri Idrus Harun had exercised his prerogative under the Federal Constitution to halt proceedings against Zahid. In a statement, it also said that Section 254, subsection 1 of the Criminal Procedure Code states that the prosecutor in any stage of the trial may inform the courts that charges will not proceed. It said the AGC is in the best position to decide on whether charges should continue, as it will be based on a variety of factors, such as investigative reports and representations, among others. It is also the duty of an Attorney General to consider every argument given by the accused and will not rush into rejecting representations by anyone. The AGC said the new information information it was reviewing in Zahid's case included at least 200 pages per representation, which would take some time to analyse. Consequently, it said it was only proper to conditionally discharge Zahid until the new information could be completely digested. As such, the AGC expressed hope that the public will stop speculating on the matter, as the department and investigative parties are still investigating new evidence on the case.
This week on Money Matters, smear campaigns against palm oil, how to put a stop to it once and for all, expectation of a rise in crude palm oil production by year-end, and addressing labour shortage in the palm oil sector. Join us with Malaysian Palm Oil Council Chairman Datuk Carl Back-Nielsen this Saturday at 5 p.m. on TV3 and live HD stream on Tonton.
The Election Commission EC is expecting over 70% voter turnout in the Pulai Parliamentary and Simpang Jeram state by-elections on Saturday. Its chairman, Tan Sri Abdul Ghani Saleh, said if this target is achieved, it would surpass the voter turnout recorded in the state elections on August 12th.
Kita berharaplah supaya di Parlimen Pulai ini dapat melebihi 70%. Itu 70%. Sebab apa yang sebelum ini pun agak rendah. Begitu juga yang di Simpang Jeram lah. Kita haraplah ya. Dan kita menyuruhlah kepada semua para pengundi dapat keluar mengundi pada besok ya. Jangan lupa menjaga kad pedang masing-masing, jangan diberi kepada orang yang tidak tentu.
Abdul Ghani said this in a media conference after inspecting the preparation of EC officials at the Kenanga Hall of the Johor Bahru City Council on Friday. He urged all voters to fulfill their responsibilities and plan their journeys, considering the uncertain weather conditions. There were 47 polling centres with 294 streams in the Pulai Parliamentary constituency and 14 centres with 68 streams in the Simpang Jeram State constituency, which would open from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. The Human Resources Ministry has announced the reopening of foreign worker recruitment in the barbershop, textile and goldsmith sectors with an initial quota of 7,500 workers for the subsectors, officially putting an end to the ban since 2009. Its Minister V. Sivakumar said his ministry would work together with the Home Affairs Ministry and Domestic Trade and Cost of Living Ministry to refine the implementation process, including quota details, coordination with the industry and screening procedures. In a statement on Friday, Sivakumar emphasised that the reopening is not a blanket approval but will be based on the actual labour needs of the three subsectors. The minister pointed out that the lifting of the ban would also help to curb the trend of employers hiring foreign workers without valid work documents, which can lead to exploitation and forced labour. He also said that the announcement will assist Indian community entrepreneurs who have been affected by the difficulty in finding local workers, thus affecting the sustainability of their businesses and facing the risk of business closures. Former Police Menteri Besar Datuk Sri Azlan Man has been given 2 months to submit his representation letter to the Attorney General's Chambers AGC for the review of his corruption charges. The Sessions Court judge granted Azlan's request for an extension after his lawyer Burhanuddin Abdul Wahid made the application during the case mentioned on Friday. The extension was provided in order to review the 10 charges of making false claims and receiving proceeds from illegal activities. The court then fixed November 10th for next mention. If there were no further developments regarding representation on the said date, the judge said all parties must be ready to commence the trial. On April 10th, Azlan claimed trial at the Kanga Sessions Court on 5 counts of submitting false overseas travel claims to London, amounting to over 1.18 million ringgit between December 2013 and December 2017, despite not making the travels. 2 days later, he was charged again with receiving a total of 1.06 million ringgit, believed to be proceeds from illegal activities in multiple transactions between February 2014 and December 2017. Police roadblocks are a common sight in our cities and multi-lane highways, but they create unwelcome congestion and often leave road users frustrated. Is there a better way to run them? FMT's Danish Rajareza drives the story.
Police roadblocks on our city roads and highways may be necessary, but they are the bane of road users. Netizens regularly take to social media to vent whenever a multi-lane road is reduced to a one-lane traffic to allow our cops to carry out their duties. Former Transport Minister Datuk Sri Wee Ka Siong understands their frustration.
When you have only 2 lanes, you stop 1 lane, the efficiency of the traffic flow will be jeopardized and reduced significantly.
We acknowledges that roadblocks are a necessary security measure, but the resulting bottlenecks can turn an easy commute into a grueling ordeal, especially during rush hour. He proposes a more efficient approach: multi-lane roadblocks.
If you want them to check one by one, it's very time-consuming. So you must provide them the tools. How can they do it? At the same time, it's a more systematic enforcement.
Currently, the police use 2 different systems to identify traffic offenders with outstanding summonses and warrants of arrests. These are the Automatic Number Plate Recognition System and ICOPS, short for In-Car Radar and Intelligent Compound Online Payment System. But we says RFID, short for Radio Frequency Identification, may prove more useful.
RFID, and then all the while, it's not for the highway only,
Correct.
Those. But that can be used, the entire ecosystem must be there, so that once you pass through the place, the RFID will tell you this car passed through this gateway, they have not paid the road tax. So I think that should be the way, but the entire ecosystem must be built.
Transport consultant Rosalie Khan is not a fan of police roadblocks and says clear guidelines must be formulated for when they can be used and how they should be set up. Rosalie says that if there is an absolute need for a roadblock, the most convenient place to set it up would be just before the toll gates of a highway.
The wide spaces available in the approach to toll booth would be ideal and suitable and would not cause any standstill traffic. Also, this is a captive area where motorists have no chance to suddenly make any U-turn to avoid the police.
Danish Rajareza, FMT for Nightline.
After this breather, Japan's Kishida set to reshuffle cabinet to boost support. Stay tuned. Back on Nightline, the Asian financial hub of Hong Kong was drenched on Friday by the heaviest rain since records began 140 years ago, killing 2 people and injuring 110 as unusually wet weather caused by typhoons brought more disruption to southern China. Hong Kong's Weather Bureau has issued its highest black rainstorm warning, saying more than 200 millimeters of rain was recorded on the main island, the Kowloon district and the northeastern part of the city's New Territories from late Thursday. It was reported that streets and subway stations were underwater in the city, with more than 100 people being taken to hospital and several rescues had taken place. The extreme weather also brought chaos to the nearby Chinese city of Shenzhen, a tech hub of more than 17.7 million people, with business and transport links severely hit. The latest downpour comes less than a week after 2 typhoons, Saola and Haikui, hit southern China in quick succession and sparked a citywide shutdown in Hong Kong. Japan's Prime Minister Fumio Kishida on Friday has told officials he will reshuffle his cabinet on September 13th. In a poll by the Yomiuri newspaper in late August, 35% of respondents approved Kishida's leadership, while 50% opposed it. Another 56% of people thought Kishida should renew his cabinet and shake up the senior executives of the ruling party. Former ruling Liberal Democratic Party member Masatoshi Akimoto on Thursday was arrested on suspicion of taking bribes, but it was believed that he denied the charges during a voluntary interview with investigators. Kishida has seen his approval ratings plunge after a series of government mishaps in implementing a policy to integrate people's tax and social security data into a single identification card. The first phase of releasing treated wastewater from Fukushima, which has angered China, will end on Monday as planned. According to the stricken Japanese nuclear plant's operator, Tokyo Electric Power Company TEPCO, it will conduct an inspection of the entire water discharge facility and review the operational records after completion of the first discharge, announcing the end of the first phase of releasing 7,800 tons of the water on September 11th. The company, however, gave no date for the start of the second discharge. Japan began on August 24th discharging into the Pacific some of the 1.34 million tons of wastewater that has collected since a tsunami crippled the facility in 2011. The country insisted that the discharge is safe, claiming that levels of radioactive tritium in tested seawater samples near the plant in northeast Japan were within safe limits. Back now with sports, badminton and the 2023 China Open. National shuttlers Chen Tangji and Toh Yiwei continued their brilliant form by smashing into the semi-finals. The duo fought hard to overcome Taiwan's Yi Hongwei and Lee Chia-sin 21-15, 13-21, 21-16 in a thrilling mixed doubles last 8 clash. This was the world number 11 pair's 4th straight win over the Taiwanese world number 15. Awaiting them in the last 4 will be world number 8, Tom Jekyll and Delphine Delrue of France. Meanwhile, independent pair Tan Kian Meng and Lai Pei-jing joined Tang Ji and Yi Wei in the semi-finals after pulling off a stunning 21-18, 21-19 victory over Thailand's world number 4, Decapul Puavaranukro and Sapsiri Thairat Thanachai. It was an outstanding result for the struggling world number 23 duo, who had not cleared the early rounds in any of their individual tournaments this year previously. The pair will next take on South Korea's recently crowned world champions, Seo Seung-jae, Jae Yu-jung, for a place in the final. Meanwhile, Aaron Chia and So Woo-yik have booked a spot in the men's doubles semi-finals in the China Open. The world number 6, Aaron and Woo-yik, emerged victorious in their battle against fellow countrymen Ong Yu-sin and Teo Yi at the Olympic Sports Center Gymnasium in Changzhou in a 62-minute battle on Friday. The pair will take on South Korea's reigning world champions Kang Min-hyuk and Seo Seung-jae for a place in the final. Turning to tennis, the 2023 US Open, Aryna Sabalenka fought back from the brink of defeat to overcome American 17th seed Madison Keys in a third-set tie-break. The 25-year-old had a shaky start, losing the first set, love 6, but the incoming world number 1 overhauled the 2017 runner-up to claim the rest of the match 7-6, 7-6. With the victory, the Australian Open champion will bid for her second Grand Slam title against 19-year-old Gauff. Earlier, Gauff beat Karolina Muchova 6-4, 7-5 to reach her first final after the match was halted for nearly an hour when an environmental activist glued his feet to the floor of Arthur Ashe Stadium. The American, who had beaten Muchova in the Cincinnati final last month to claim the biggest title of her career, fed off the energy of the home crowd to get past the Czech once again. The victory was the 11th in a row for Gauff and the 17th in her past 18 matches. When we return, 1 dead, 2 others injured in LPT2 motorcycle crash. Don't go away. Thanks for staying with us. Now, in Terengganu, a participant in the RxZ members program was killed in an accident at the East Coast Expressway Phase 2 LPT2 around noon on Friday. The victim, 30-year-old Muhammad Lokman Misnan from Teluk Panglima Garang, Selangor, died at the scene due to severe head injuries. Kemaman District Police Chief Superintendent Hanyan Ramlan said the accident occurred as the victim was en route to join the members program in Gong Badak, Kuala Nerus. He lost control of his motorcycle and collided with 2 other RxZ motorcyclists who had stopped by the side of the road. Muhammad Lokman was dragged approximately 37 meters before succumbing to his injuries. The 2 other motorcyclists were also injured, with one of them suffering fractures to his left hand and right leg after being struck by the motorcycle, while the other sustained a broken left hand. Muhammad Muhammad Lokman's body was sent to the Kemaman Hospital for post-mortem, while the injured victims were taken to Tengku Ampuan Afzan Hospital in Kuantan Pahang for medical treatment. The case is being investigated under the Road Transport Act. A drug dealer tried to escape arrest by driving into oncoming traffic during a high-speed chase with the police in Sabah's East Coast Tawau district. The 30-year-old local man was reportedly panicked as he was carrying over 2 kilograms of shabu in his vehicle when he approached a police roadblock. Tawau Police Chief Assistant Commissioner Jasmine Hussein said the man turned his car around just before reaching the roadblock, prompting the policeman on duty to give chase. The suspect, however, did not manage to get very far as police managed to intercept him after a short time. Upon inspection, police found 6 plastic packets, including 2 Chinese tea packets containing shabu. Further checks on the suspect found that he was jobless and had 1 previous criminal conviction involving drugs in 2016. The seized shabu was estimated to be worth some 120,000 ringgit, and the suspect has been remanded for 7 days from Thursday for investigations under Section 39B of the Dangerous Drugs Act. The police are also actively tracking down the syndicate involved. The police are on the hunt for a suspect who was caught on security camera footage robbing an elderly woman with a knife at a bank in Ipoh, Perak. Ipoh District Police Chief ACP Yahya Hassan said an operation has been launched to track down the suspect, who is believed to be involved in a few other cases in the state. According to ACP Yahya, the police came across a 1-minute and 3-second video which was uploaded by a social media user on the armed robbery incident which happened on May 14th. In the viral video, a man wearing a motorcycle helmet with a dark face shield is seen entering a bank before robbing one of the 2 women in her 50s of about 300 ringgit. The case is being investigated under Section 392 and Section 397 of the Penal Code for armed robbery. Police have urged anyone with information about the case to contact the Ipoh District Police. Ever wondered what a falcon's view of Qatar would be? Now let's take a look as Qatar Tourism released a video called Qatar's Bird's Eye View, an innovative production from the viewpoint of the country's esteemed national bird, the falcon. I'm Azaria Tagaya. Thank you for watching and we'll see you next time.